This is the stuff that happened last time. So you see this? I'm gonna click on it. Well, listen, look, that's the video, right? That's the video, right? Okay. I'm gonna click on it, and I'm gonna say open. Open with VLC player. See, there it is. Okay, so when I put it into this program, there's nothing. It's just an audio file. Explain that to me. Explain that to me. I don't know. I don't know what happened here. I don't know. Your guess is...
Advances in artificial intelligence are leading to medical breakthroughs once thought impossible, including devices that can actually read minds and alter our brains to help treat conditions like anxiety, Alzheimer's.
But that technology raises privacy concerns. That's why Colorado passed a first-of-its-kind law aimed at ensuring our private thoughts remain private. Your political reporter, Sean Boyd, joins us live from the Capitol tonight.
Sean, this is really
Again, I'm oversimplifying. A particular waveform might be the word for house, and another one might be for dog, and another word and another waveform for outside. And from that, we can conclude they're talking about the dog being outside of the house. So technically, they're not reading your mind with this remote neuromonitoring technology that we're describing. They're reading brain waves and making a conversion to individual words and then stringing those words together. So maybe for many people, they're like, so what's the difference? That's still reading my mind. And that may be a valid point as well. But without the use of computers, it would be impossible to do.
Okay, so I'm on a different computer. I hate doing that. I'm like, just leave it up there. But you see it? That's time. That's time. Okay, that's time. Okay, so like I said, I had to re-record this freaking video. So I just want to tell you that gang stalking, real gang stalking, had nothing to do with religion or spirituality. Gang stalking, real gang stalking through a legal and scientific lens, have nothing to do with the supernatural, the paranormal, the metaphysical. Gang stalking, real gang stalking through a scientific lens, that just in case something does happen to you, you can tell this to a police officer and he will sort of kind of believe you. Okay, gang stalking had nothing to do with the supernatural, the paranormal, or the metaphysical. I know I just repeated that. Gang stalking had nothing to do with chosen ones, tarot cards, astral projection, psychic ability, and this little thing called monitoring spirits. All of that is a psychological operation campaign used against you to get you, the real gang stalking victim, in jail, in prison, homeless, jobless. They're gonna try to come after your kids if they're pedophiles. If they're a certain type of way, they're gonna try to get you into, I got hair right here, try to get you in some type of trafficking ring, okay? Because you're not paying attention to these direct energy weapons and mind control technologies, okay? And you think you're a chosen one, destined for greatness with the power of God, or whatever the bullshit that they say on YouTube, ComicTube nowadays. You got the Ukraine situation, you got the Syria situation, the Yemen situation, you got the Gaza situation, and then you got all types of nuclear, biological, chemical situations. I gotta be careful being here. I gotta be careful about how I say things. Look, I don't care what religion you believe in or you spiritual. I don't care. Okay, if you want to use your religion and your spirituality to heal the sick, to comfort the dying, to comfort the poor, to protect the innocents, I have no problem with that. I think that's sweet. I think that's great, and I think that's kind. But I'm going to show you Popular Mechanics Magazine Psychoelectronic Weapons Effects, the old mind control program that proved that gang stalking is real through a legal and scientific lens that matches what the East German Stasi did to their own people before the fall of the Berlin Wall. Okay, and none of these fake gang stalking victims talking about this religion and spirituality ain't gonna talk about that bullshit. So there's a lot of fake gang stalking victims, and I'm being zapped, stained all over the place right here. It is not the little pimples I have being zapped since I've been here. So anyway, you have a lot of, I'm gonna let you see me. So you have a lot of fake gang stalking victims. The problem is every single one of these people, and I showed you at least 4 or maybe 5 of the real ones, of the real gang stalking victims, and the rest of gang stalking, 1-word tag and 2-word tag. Okay, you only saw 1-word tag, but 2-word tag, they're both the same thing. Of the relevant section, they're all fake, phony, and false people. You just got to be careful with that, because every single one of these fakes are doing a psychological operation campaign against you, your friends, your family, and your potential allies to get you in trouble. Okay, to get you in trouble. They have no intentions of being honest with you. Okay, because none of these people talked about mind control technology and Popular Mechanics magazine. I'm being zapped right here. It's not me messing, my muscles being messed with, and this phone ain't heavy. But what's going on here is they're just trying to get you in trouble. Okay, and they don't want psychotronic weapons to be exposed to the public, because if you're religious or spiritual, and soon as you realize that these psychotronic weapons are real, and yes, they can read your mind. Yes, they can, and they can read your mind since the 70s or the late 80s with radio waves, and you know what's around us right now, and we all know about the Internet of Bodies, the Internet of Things, and we know what's coming with those AI data centers, kind of like the fusion centers back in the day. We all know what's coming, the Internet of Bodies, the Internet of Things, and nobody's religion is going to stop that. Sorry, but it's true. Nobody's going to stop it. The chance to stop these AI data centers was earlier this year. Nobody stopped it. And we all know about Palantir. Now, if you pay any attention to the movie, I had it on my channel, is that Marvel movie, Captain America, the Captain America one, when these people was using AI to track the people who will be potential enemies against Hydra. And then you pay attention what Israel's doing in the Middle East with their AI system, and that's kind of similar to some of these AI systems that's going to be. So you know what's coming, right? The Internet of Bodies, the Internet of Things, the AI global governance system, the New World Order. It's coming. And if you paid attention to Popular Mechanics magazine, Psycho-Electronic Weapons Effects, you know what's coming, because you was a real gang-stalking victim. You was the precursor. You was the test subject, the guinea pig. And you're not going to be compensated for what you experience and what your family and your friends and your potential allies experience. You're not going to be compensated for anything about that. They kind of wanted you to die so you could permanently shut the F up, so this thing can go on without a hitch. But some of us real gang-stalking victims are still alive. We still kind of trucking along, but you need to be careful about it, because it is coming. Okay, so hopefully you enjoyed this, and this is a little clip about talking about mind control technology. It's coming. I'm going to see if I can find that targeted justice, remote neural monitoring with the United States patent numbers, proving that synthetic telepathy been going on since the late 70s, early 80s, and it's 2025. And people have been talking about this stuff for decades, but people who talked about it in a legal and scientific way, they was labeled as crazy. Some of them were put on psychotic medicine. Some got homeless. Some got their kids taken away from them. So be careful of the fakes that you see on YouTube, ComicTube, and all these other social media platforms. Be careful of the fakes. I'm gonna see if I can find that targeted justice video. And I don't even like targeted justice like that, but that video was really good, talking about the synthetic telepathy. All right, say I love you, Andre. Andre, can you hear me? I just want to say I love you, Andre, and everybody else. Have a good day. Family members, I'll call you later on this week. Happy Labor Day. All right, peace. This is the stuff that happened last time. So you see this? I'm gonna click on it. Well, listen, look, that's the video, right? That's a video, right? Okay. I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to say open. Open with VLC player. See, there it is. Okay, so when I put it into this program, there's nothing. It's just an audio file. Explain that To me. Explain that to me. I don't know. I don't know what happened here. I don't know. Your guess is
remote neural monitoring, and it's a very sophisticated technology, and there are not many experts on it. I don't pretend to be an expert on a particular subject, but there are a number of patents on it. The patent that we reference is listed on our homepage. I don't know that one right off the top of my head, but we do have it listed. If you're interested, go and get a copy of that patent. You can download it on the internet, and you'll find that it describes a method where two cell tower signals are intersected in your brain, and it captures the individual brain waves. So what they're describing, and this is not a recent technology, what they're describing is they're capturing brain waves. They're not reading your mind. They're simply taking the brain waves and converting it into words. So a one particular might signal, and this, again, I'm oversimplifying, a particular waveform might be the word for house, and another one might be for dog, and another word and another waveform for outside. And from that, we can conclude they're talking about the dog being outside of the house. So technically, they're not reading your mind with this remote neural monitoring technology that we're describing. They're reading brain waves and making a conversion to individual words and then stringing those words together. So maybe for many people, they're like, so what's the difference? That's still reading my mind. And that may be a valid point as well. But without the use of computers, it would be impossible to do.
Blowing even to think about who has access to this technology.
You know, Karen, everyone, believe it or not, you can buy devices on the internet right now that can, to varying degrees, decode your brain waves. And the technology being developed by the likes of Elon Musk, Apple, Meta, and OpenAI can change, enhance, and control your thoughts, emotions, even your memories. It's the dawn of a new era, filled with promise and peril.
Anything you wanted to do, you can move your computer with your mind, and you can control it with your mind using this device.
If you think telepathy or mind control is the stuff of science fiction, think again.
This is kind of like the first consumer-grade brain-computer interface that anyone can have, and anyone can control their computer using this technology.
It's called neurotechnology, and neurologist Sean Pazowski at UC Health says it's revolutionizing healthcare, enabling people who can't move or speak to do what was previously thought impossible, communicate with just a thought or expression.
You could use this device to move the cursor to the letter that you wanted, and then if you wanted that letter, you could just smile and give the command to enter that.
This headset, one of 30 devices you can now buy on the internet to peer into your brain and, in some cases, alter it.
So it is actually modulating and stimulating your brain to help you get a better night's sleep.
The devices promise to not only improve brain function, but identify impairments. Pazowski is using the technology at UC Health to detect epileptic seizures as they happen.
Which we were never able to do that before. This takes out all the guesswork and allows us to change medications in real time.
If the at-home devices are impressive, those being used in the lab are even more so. Our brain waves are like encrypted signals, and using artificial intelligence, researchers have cracked the code, identifying frequencies for specific words to turn thought to text with 40% accuracy.
Give it a few years, and we're probably talking 80–90%.
That I just think it, and AI knows what I'm thinking.
Yes.
Because of the pattern of my brainwave.
Yes.
Not only do words have distinctive brain patterns, so do conditions like Alzheimer's, anxiety, and addiction. Conditions researchers are working to reverse using electrical stimulation to alter the frequencies or regions of the brain where the condition originates.
The benefits are going to be off the charts. Patients are going to have dozens of more options.
But with the benefits come risks.
It is some of the most sensitive data that you could possibly share with anyone.
Data insurance companies could use to discriminate, law enforcement to interrogate, and advertisers to manipulate. Government, too, could get into our heads and potentially alter our thoughts, emotions, and memories as the technology advances.
Nobody wants to live in a world where some of these misuses or abuses exist.
While medical research facilities are subject to privacy laws, private companies that are amassing large caches of brain data are not. And based on a study by the Neural Rights Foundation, 2/3 of them are already sharing or selling the data with third parties. The vast majority of them also don't disclose where the data is stored, how long they keep it, who has access to it, and what happens if there's a security breach. Which is why PSYOPS, medical director of the foundation, led the passage of a first-in-the-nation law in Colorado that includes biological or brain data in the State Privacy Act, similar to fingerprints, if the data is being used to identify people.
This is a first step, but we still have a long way to go.
And with companies and countries racing to access, analyze, and alter our brains, PSYOPS says privacy protections should be a no-brainer.
It's everything that we are. You know, it's everything about our thoughts, our emotions, our memories, our intentions.
The new law takes effect August 8th, but it's unclear which companies will be subject to it because, again, it only applies to those that are using the data to identify people. It's also unclear how it will be enforced, especially against those companies that are out of the country. PSYOPS and the Neural Rights Foundation are pushing for a federal law and even a global accord. They don't want brain data to end up like DNA data that people sent to genealogy sites only to learn that they shared or sold it to a third party. After all, the privacy of our mind may be the only privacy we have left. Karen and Michaela?
Yeah, so fascinating, Sean, just taking all of this in. We have some questions for you.
Yeah.
So how much do these at-home devices cost and how well do they work?
Most of them are in the $200 to $400 range. Of course, some are in the thousands of dollars. Because they're marketed as wellness devices, they're not regulated by the FDA. But PSYOPS says the ones that he's tried do work, but they only work if you have those sensors attached to your head. Elon Musk has developed an implantable chip that actually allows you to move a cursor, for example, with just your thoughts.
And Sean, we're also wondering, can any of these devices actually control a person's thoughts?
Not a person's, Michaela, but they have been used to control the thoughts of mice in a lab.
All right, so much to take in.
Yeah.
Sean, thank you for that report.